Good morning. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order this morning. And if you will please stand, we're going to say a word of prayer and then remain standing for the flag salute.
Let us pray. Lord, we just want to take a moment and tell you that we love you and we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many ways that you bless each one of us and that you bless this county. Lord, we thank you for the rain today as it's much needed. And we just thank you for your watch care over us. Lord, I pray that this morning you would guide our actions, that you would guide our decisions. And Lord, I pray that every day in our lives that we would act and conduct ourselves in a way that pleases you. I pray that as we go about these choices and everything that we have to do as a committee and as a county, that we do so in a way that makes you proud of the way we act, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we treat others. Lord, I pray that you would continue to be with us as we go from here and as we live amongst all the people in this county. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bill has some, is this on? Yes. Bill has some agenda adjustments.
With your permission, I would like you to consider prior to approval of the agenda, right after the approval of the agenda, Kristen Chapman has a short presentation on some marketing initiatives that we're beginning, and I'll have her make a brief comment related to that. If you'll amend the agenda to do that right after approval of minutes in the agenda, and you can just note it as Kristen Chapman will be fine. And then the economy building strategy, USF, we ran into a glitch. We did not realize that this was their spring break week, and several of the professors we had anticipated making a presentation today were out, so we're going to replace that agenda item again with your permission with the Mosaic agreement presentation that is jointly done between the chamber and the EDC office. And Casey Dixon will be doing that, and that'll be a substitute replacement item for the one at 9:10. Those are my only changes.
Do we need a motion for that from the board for those agenda adjustments? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Kristen.
Okay, so as part of my initiative, I've been trying to improve the IDA's visibility on the web. So we have recently updated our website and have featured a site selection map, which local realtors I plan to meet with, and they can upload available spaces and lots for potential businesses to move into. I also have the Commerce Park lots listed in that as well. We also have Mr. Caton Netza here. He is going to film today's meeting so that we can update our video that's on the website. So I just wanted to acknowledge him. And he is with Memories by Video. So if you ever need a special occasion video, it's available. But we'll continue to work on our marketing. We have the Auditor, which is our newsletter that comes out every other week. So be looking for that as well.
Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from last week, month rather? Any corrections or additions? I'll entertain a motion. Motion to approve and seconded. Any further discussion on that? Yes, sir.
I appreciate them getting out the draft early to us and all that, so that helps us to make
Sure. And I think that's a good thing, and we worked on that to get that out, and so we're not sitting here at the moment of time and having to read the minutes and decide if they're correct or not. So yes, thank y'all for that. So we have a motion made and seconded, no further discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. You want to carry for here? Okay.
One other announcement, Commissioner Thompson is the IDA liaison, and he is now going to be sitting up here with us. I think that'll be a good thing for us in the future. We chose to leave the other commissioner off the table so that we didn't have a particular conflict, but I'm glad that you're willing to do this, and we will move forward. So, welcome. The first item on the agenda for presentation is Mr. Dave Brown from Easy Products. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Bill. I know you're kind of busy this morning, so I'm going to be really brief. I just want to thank all of you guys for your funds you contribute to getting my product TUV safety certified. It's been really, really good for our business. We've hired 3 people since I first met you all, which is pretty nice here for Hardee County. And we're getting ready to expand. We're going to take 2 of the people we've hired and promote them and make them major account reps. And we're going to hire 2 technical support people to take over what they are doing. And there's going to be some extensive training involved in all that, and I'll tell you all about that at some other time. Thank you.
Any questions of Mr. Brown? I will tell you he has opened his new facility for any of us to come by and visit, and that address is
612 North Florida Avenue.
612 North Florida Avenue, and I would encourage you to stop by. You might give him a call ahead of time so that we don't catch him at an inopportune situation in their business. But Dave's been a pleasure to work with, and I thank you for what you've done for Hardee County and wish you well as you move forward.
Well, thank you, Bill. You can come over anytime you want. If you want to come over in a group, give us a call. We'll have some donuts for you.
Thank you.
All right, Casey, you're going to do our Mosaic agreement update.
Good morning. As part of the Mosaic agreement, and one of the conditions is that the IDA agreed to give a presentation to the Board of County Commissioners providing an update as to what projects they work with, the money that's been spent, so forth and so on. So we've been working, I think we talked last month about, we had it originally scheduled for February 21st. However, we had some conflicts with attendance, so we've moved it. So we brought it back to you today. This is a rough draft. This is just kind of the format that we're going with. We would appreciate any suggestions, but we will. We're having technical difficulties with this. 1 minute. But the reason I'm the one that's giving the presentation is in the Mosaic agreement, it does mention the Chamber of Commerce as a partner throughout this process and to help with the evaluation of the projects and to work with the IDA and the Board of County Commissioners to kind of move the projects forward. I thought that since this was the first presentation that we'd be making to the Board of County Commissioners in regards to the Mosaic agreement, it would be an opportune time to provide them a history of the agreement and how we kind of got to this point. So the agreement for the economic development terms was done on July 31st, 2008. And basically what this says is that the county recognizes the positive economic impacts and conditions created by the developer, which is Mosaic, and its continued presence in the county. However, all parties involved agreed that because of the comprehensive plan, which we'll go into later, that there was a need for Mosaic to provide some sort of mitigation funding for economic development in the community. This is the part of the comprehensive plan. It's policy E5.1 that states, I'm not going to read all of the slides to you guys, but it basically states is that the developer, which is Mosaic, does have a responsibility to provide that economic mitigation to the county during their whole process. In 2008, the Hardee County IDA entered into a developer agreement, which was titled FS 163, and it was to satisfy the compliance of the comprehensive plan. The payment allocation is broken down into three. As you know, it's for 10 years, but it was set up differently the first 2 years. And in year one, it was a $4.5 million payment to the IDA with $500,000 going into the general revenue fund of Hardee County. In year two, it was another $4.5 million payment with $500,000 going to the general revenue of the county. And then years 3 through 10, it would be a $3.5 million payment to the IDA and $500,000 going to the county. That will last for 10 years. It will total $42 million for economic development monies to the IDA. It's okay. The specifications on that were $100,000 for administrative costs, and then it was development projects on reclaimed land, county or municipal infrastructure projects, and other projects as determined by the IDA, including transfers to the EDA. The developer utilization was put in there to recognize and encourage that the developer contributed funds will be utilized by the developer and its successors for capital investment and infrastructure opportunities. Basically saying that it is the hope of the developer and as well as all of the people in this agreement that Mosaic would use these funds and help them further their involvement in the community and help plan for future economic development as they move forward on their reclaim plan. So the overriding philosophies that were put into this agreement were for the monies to be spent on infrastructure needs such as roads, water lines, so forth and so on that are necessary for economic development. Also opportunities for developing a fossil-based tourism theme, which as you all know, we've kind of been working on that with USF. We're also to look at alternative water supply options, such as reservoirs, ASR technology, so forth and so on. And then it may be utilized to investigate and create an economic development catalyst project. As I said, these are overriding philosophies that were put into the agreement. They were not, I think that all the parties involved, it's my understanding that they wanted to keep it open enough so that economic development, as it changes through the next 10 years, that they weren't limiting themselves to spend it on different things. So they just developed these philosophies to look for on how to move forward. So our annual report, since we've received this funding, I'm just going to kind of go through the projects that have been approved by the board and what their status is currently. So administration, as I said earlier, administration such as accounting or auditing different areas such as that, staffing, it's $100,000 for each year. So there has been $200,000 allocated to that, so it's $100,000 for each year so far. And I checked, I didn't think that there had been any money spent, but there have been some expenses for accounting practices so far for where the audit was concerned, so we will change this prior to our presentation to the county commissioner and have that exactly right. National Solar was also an allocation, and they have purchased property in Hardee County to develop, build, and operate a solar power facility. The board allocated $250,000 for them for an allotment for property purchase reimbursement. That has not been collected thus far, so $0 have been dispersed. Pacer Marine, as you know, is a company that's located in our Commerce Park, and they focus on the manufacturing of nautical equipment wiring. You have budgeted $60,000 for a performance-based mortgage for job creation, which totals $15. 15 jobs. I do know that they're working with our office to try to get that credit currently, so that we're waiting on paperwork submission to them, but as of this date, they have not collected their $60,000. Chamber of Commerce marketing grant was, we did the grant program in order to help our members better market themselves through general marketing or website design and or enhancement. We have done our cycle of our marketing grants. The board budgeted $20,000 for that for the reimbursable grants, and we dispersed $15,954.60. Broadband is something that you have budgeted $250,000 for, and it's for bringing connectivity via fiber from the ILA POP to the technology park in order to provide redundancy needed for the technology park. So far, $0 have been dispersed on that allotment. Hardee Lakes Park was done in the first funding cycle. It was votes to improve Hardee Lakes Park with a $250,000 budget. That would include construction of the RV campsites, water plant, public restrooms, dump station, etc. And all of the $250,000 allotted has been dispersed to the county for that grant. Easy Products, as Mr. Brown was up here saying, was awarded $26,409.25, and it was for company certification requirement for international distribution. As he told you earlier, new people have already been hired, so I think that was a good investment on the part of the board to bring in additional jobs. That total amount has been dispersed as well. Bluewater was a pilot technology business operation with infrastructure related creation. It was for web-based solutions such as application development, management, so forth and so on. The budgeted amount was $2,557,852, and it was for the development of a healthcare application, and to date, at the end of last fiscal year, that total amount had been dispersed to Bluewater. The economic development, economy building strategy for analysis for USF, which you know is a partnership between the Chamber of USF and the IEA to conduct an analysis for an economy building strategy based on eco and agritourism and other broader economy building items for the community. It was budgeted for $100,000 for phase 1. And the amount dispersed was $92,552. The presentation that was meant for today was a presentation on phase 2 to see what direction we want to take after phase 1 has been complete. So I would anticipate that presentation will come in next month's board meeting. The pre-co purchase was for the purchase and retrofit of office building for the creation of a technology park. The budgeted amount from the IDA was $700,000. $400,000 of that went towards the purchase of the building, allowing for $300,000 for retrofit. That was also in partnership with an EDA grant that was awarded for $800,000. At the end of last fiscal year, the amount dispersed was $400,000. They're currently, the $300,000 retrofit did not come out after until the end of last fiscal year. So those expenses have been going out, but they just didn't count towards this past fiscal year. And as I said before, there's an allotment to the Hardee County General Revenue Fund each year during the term of agreement. It's $500,000 per disbursement. 3 disbursements have been made to date, and $1.5 million has been dispersed to the County Commission so far. So to summarize the budget, in total, the IDA has received $10.5 million so far for the Mosaic Agreement. The allocation of projects totals $8,568,222.25. And the Hardee County General Revenue Fund, $1.5 million has been dispersed. Expended, which is the amount that has been paid out so far, is $5,592,767. $5,592,767.85. Which leaves, after taking out all of the allotment and the allocation to the county commissioners in reserves currently, there's $431,777.75. Any questions?
Casey, I did note a couple of changes that need to be.
Okay.
Even on that slide, if I'm not mistaken, the disbursement to Hardee County General Revenue is $1 million. There's only been 2 payments. It's $500,000 per payment.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you arrived at 1.5 million.
Okay.
We need to check that. And also, one of the initial slides had a 163 developer agreement with the IDA. That agreement is with the county.
The county commissioners.
Those 2 corrections need to occur.
Yeah. As I said, it's a rough draft. We haven't got it into final format. That's why we wanted to bring it to the board today to see if there were any changes that need to be made. So we'll definitely make those changes.
And from this point, we will refine it, and then this presentation will become a public presentation with the BOCC. So if you have any comments, give them to Casey, and we'll make adjustments as necessary.
Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Taking public comment? Chair C,
Pardon me?
are you taking public comment?
We're taking public comment at the end of this meeting.
It might be.
There's nothing to vote on here.
I understand. I just thought it might be more appropriate and timely.
We'll take public comments at the end of the meeting. Next.
The next item on the agenda is the EDA grant modification and the authorization of the chairman to sign. This was an audit correction or adjustment in that part of the disbursement for the broadband project, the auditors, I pointed this out to them. They asked me if there was any part of any monies that had been dispersed that I felt like may not comply with the grant. As you may or may not recall, we had done a data center study. The data center study, while appropriate for the project, was not clarified as a proper expenditure. It totaled about $7,800. So the EDA came back and amended their grant process to acknowledge that that grant for the data center study was appropriate, and now we are doing similarly here with the IDA. So the motion will be to approve the EDA grant modification, authorize the chairman to sign.
Does the board understand what you just heard? Any questions? Comments? I'll entertain a motion then. Motion made and seconded. Restate that, Bill, what that was.
Motion will be to approve the Economic Development Authority grant modification and authorize the chairman to sign.
Is that what you understand? Your second okay with that? Any questions from the board? All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
At this time, I'm going to introduce Tip Fowler, who is here with JDC Phosphates. And are you're going to set your PowerPoint up? Give me a moment.
She has it.
If you do, we'll take 5 minutes and give you a chance to set up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break, give them a chance to set up their presentation, please. Thank you.